All right, we're going to take a quick look at how to get around our course Canvas pages, and what our assignments look like. So Physics 1 and AP Physics look roughly the same. When your student goes to their class, they're going to see this as their home page for every unit, and it's got every single day laid out. And each one of these links will take them to the assignment for the day, and they'll have a recording of the notes that we go over in class. Just in case they have to miss the day for any reason, they can go back to this recording of what we talk about during the WebEx. Now that's only going to be my screen and me writing on it, and that's only going to be the things that I say. There won't be any student faces or names in these recordings, but these synchronous meeting recordings are a great way for your kid to catch up if they miss our synchronous time in class. Each one of these links will take them to the assignment for the day. Quizzes are going to be housed inside of Canvas, but they will have all of their daily stuff right here. If your student needs to attend tutorials, they can click on this tutorial link. Here are my tutorial times, and I'll extend sort of the afternoon a little bit. And those are just drop in. Your student can come into those tutorials anytime that they need to. If for any reason this doesn't work, or your student wants to look back at an old unit, they can click on all modules and it'll take them to a different page. This page will have all of their stuff in it by day, and they can click on it this way. Every day we have a class meeting. That class meeting is going to be under the calendar, so they click on calendar and then they find their class. Now they won't have this much stuff. What they'll have is, let's say they're in 7th period. What they will have is this 7th period physics B lunch. They can click on that for the day of the class. It's important because the link is going to change every couple of days, but when they click here, they can get the Join Google Meet link so that they can come to our class meeting. So be sure to encourage your students to go to the calendar and click on the Join Google Meet. Now, when your students have assignments, there are two different kinds of assignments that they're going to have. There are notes and practice, and there are labs. Those are the two big assignments that we're going to go over. So here is what a notes assignment looks like. There's an embedded video, and that video is me giving notes. So this embedded video has notes. They can expand the video. They can add closed captions. They can click on it and see closed captions. They can speed the video up or slow it down. But that's going to be the notes that they need for the day. Best practice for your student is to write those notes down on a separate piece of paper. And this square over here is where I want students to embed their notes. This is a way for me to check and make sure that they are taking notes. And your student will be building a digital notebook of the unit. This is a place for them to keep their notes so they can refer back to them. And there are instructions here for your student to put the notes on this slide and save it. And then they need to answer the couple of questions under the video. This is a way for them to kind of formalize their thoughts about the video. After watching a video, on the next slide, there's going to be a worksheet. And so here's some practice over the things that were on the video. What your student needs to do is work those problems out on a separate piece of paper. And then for me to check, they need to upload a picture. And again, there are instructions there for them to upload a picture of their work. And so all of this goes onto this Google slide, and your student will copy it into their digital notebook for the unit. And for most of their worksheets, there are solutions or video solutions. The video solutions is me working through those problems and explaining how things go. I started doing that a few years ago, and it really seems to help students to have that extra bit of help for every single problem that they have. And the other kind of assignment that they have is a lab. During their asynchronous time or during our synchronous time, we will work through a simulation. So this link takes them to a simulation, and they have their instructions for what they need to do here. And if they have a separate spreadsheet to work on to make graphs. There are instructions on how to bring those graphs over, and there are questions for them to answer with the lab. One thing that I want to make really, really clear is that I am here for your students every step of the way on these assignments. I want to make sure that they understand how to do what they're doing. I want them to understand the science and the physics that we're trying to teach with that. And I want to make sure that there are no roadblocks in their way. One more thing I want to emphasize to you is grades. So for the types of grades that we have, the notes and practice, I'm going to replace a notes and practice grade. If for some reason your student doesn't get to it or can't complete that grade, it will be replaced by the next quiz grade, if the next quiz grade is better, or it'll be replaced by the test grade that goes with that unit. Labs are only going to be replaced by test grades, but if they do better on their test grade than they do on their lab, then I'll replace that grade with their test grade. And then quizzes, which if they skip on the notes and practice because they know it's going to be replaced by the quiz and test, that's a choice your student can make. They're not going to be successful on quizzes unless they're doing the labs and the notes practice. And they're not going to be successful on tests unless they're doing the labs and the notes practice. So it's something that I think is useful for them so that they can practice their understanding so that when they demonstrate it on the quizzes and the tests, they're successful there. Quizzes through Canvas, I'm letting your student take the quiz multiple times. I'm trying to conference with your student after they take the quiz. But if they don't get the grade that they want on the quiz, their quiz will be replaced by a test grade. And for tests, for the district, each student will have an opportunity to make up their test to an 85 if they're not satisfied with their grade. And it is that grade that will can ultimately replace everything else. So that's just a quick look at Canvas and the things they need to do there and the types of assignments that they have. Thank you so much for your time.